All right. Welcome everybody to today's Acti game event, which will be on the topic of sustainability. Woohoo! Super important topic for us here at Acti. I mean, it is of course a super important topic for the whole entire world. Couldn't have been more important than it is right now. But especially here at Acti, we absolutely love the topic of sustainability and how we can contribute to making the world a better place. So we're super excited to have the game event today with a game for green for you. And we of course have our CEO live with us as our one Acti expert. And then we have Owe from Implement Consulting as our more, how do you say, live expert, or the guy who's actually using these games and knows a lot more about how to facilitate them and utilize them. So we're super excited to have you both here today with us.
Happy to
And
be here.
Thank you, Ida.
thank you. And without so much further ado, actually, I would like to ask Owe to present himself and explain a little bit about who he is and what Implement
I will,
is.
I will, I will super gladly do that. And Ida, thank you for the invitation. It's a topic I always enjoy talking about and participating in events around. Probably to the slight nuisance of facilitators like you, because I can't stop talking when I just get started. So please keep me in line and try to control the flow.
I will do my very
However,
best.
Implement is a consultancy based in Scandinavia. We've been here for about 26 years. So if you can switch the slides, and that journey for the past 26 years have been sort of amazing because we've grown from 4 people to today plus 1,800 consultants in 6 different countries and 11 offices. We are a group of passionate specialists in all our different areas, but all of them surrounding and revolving about the topic of making change be actually manifest out there in reality, creating a real impact. The next slide, please, if you could.
Yep.
And when we ask ourselves where we are different, we have all kinds of good stories about that. Telling the stories that we do not believe in anything else but the people who are the actual drivers of any change. Of course, you need the FTEs. Of course, you need stakeholders and resources and manage them. But whatever you call them, they are people, and it is people that actually create the change. So we are super, super passionate about the real why. Are we actually doing the change? What do we want to achieve out there in reality? And then the later end of it, how do we actually make that happen and be sustained into real tangible behavior in everyday running the business? And if we ask our customers, they have quite basic understanding of us. Yes, we come with quite a high energy, a high passion for what we do, and a true and firm belief in that if we help one another, we actually create better impact and more change out there in reality. Let's have the next slide. And when we are talking about Nordic DNA, that is super, super clear in the way we operate, because we actually believe that people need to be masters in what they talk about. So if I'm being asked a question where I'm not, sort of an expert, and I don't rate myself as expert in very many areas, because I know a lot of real experts. So I tend to be quite humble, and a lot of our colleagues are actually like that. Then we go and find, the experts, either reach out to people like Live when we need something about how to design a game, or other people with their special expertise, because we actually firmly believe that helping each other with what we are best at, again, is the best way of working together. We are absolutely without formal hierarchies. We don't believe in telling people what to do. We believe in asking people if they want to join, if they want to participate, and thereby having, the good energy, the positive inclinations into actually leaning in and helping. We have, as far as humanly possible, created a 1,800 people organization without strict rules and firm guidelines. Of course, there are slight differences from when it was 8 to 1,800, but we are really trying to uh, make it clear that it is people that are finding their own way in balance of good ethics and proper behavior. And Ida, thank you for nudging me a bit. Let's go there. But again, we don't have anybody who's not genuinely passionate about creating impact in real life, in real projects, in real organizations. And we can only do that if we can attract and keep the best people in our employment as colleagues. Let's not dive any more into that. Last word is we are here to help people, and that is actually the DNA we enter in every project with.
Maybe I can just comment a little bit over because we've been collaborating for many years, and you have been a very dear partner to Active for many years. But I have always heard about you as like the fresh consultants out there, and I don't know how you do it. You've been here for so many years, but you still seem to be able to reinvent, to innovate, to still stay as someone who's preferred to work with because you are very skilled facilitators, and you seem to have a good culture at Implement, and you sense that when you're there.
And culture is super critical for us as an organization. You know, sometimes I actually compare Implement as, you know, the love child between a Moroccan bazaar and a 70s commune. You know, where everybody is allowed to do and make the stand they have passion about and competences in doing, and we do share as a good collective both the good and the bad. And if anybody's in trouble, we try to lean in and help. And that actually create that supportive culture where we use our mutual expertise to keep fresh and keep innovating, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what you sense when you are close to you as a company, and I think your clients are also is also experiencing the same thing.
And
So
that's good to hear from other than ourselves, you know, life. So thank you for
yeah,
that.
yeah, it is. And I'm not saying this to sugarcoat you, even though I like to sugarcoat you. It's a, it's not a. I'm actually saying that out of a pure heart because we have been working together
Yeah.
for a long time. So
All right. Moving
yeah,
swiftly onwards and upwards to the reason we are all here, which is, of course, you know, to play the game and see you guys compete head against head, who is actually the Acti expert. But before we do that, I'm just quickly going to ask Live actually to present his favorite slide,
Yeah.
which is the slide that he always uses for every single PowerPoint, no matter what presentation, no matter who
exactly.
he's speaking to. This is the slide.
This is the slide, and actually, we should. I can see some of the numbers needs to be updated. I'm the CEO and founder of Acti, and I'm super proud about it, these numbers. And it would not be possible without partners like Implement and O and people who's actually fond of our games, because we don't go out as consultants. We are not out in the workshop space. We are only there to innovate the game platform. So but we've been here for 20 years and we started out as a consultant. So I also think that's why our games are so much applicable and loved by consultants, is because we actually see ourselves as a tool provider for the consultant industry in trainings around the world. And it says 120, but it's actually a lie. There is 150 games and there are 400 games being built at the moment by clients. They're just not public, so we don't brag on that number. And we are adding AI in, so we actually foresee that number to scale up that many more times. And also just saw that we in a very short period of time you will be able to add a issue into a prompt and out comes a game similar to what we played today. So the game development part is a huge thing today. But these are the games that you can buy off shelf without building anyone. And there are 50, which is also understated because people are also adding in their own theories and their own method and tying them up to the game. So that library is also growing, and that means that you're actually creating data every time you play a game, building on that theory. And then the last number is something that I'm super excited about, is that we worldwide have 2,500 certified consultants who's using Acti within their service, and we are so happy that so many people trust in our product. So I guess that's I could also continue saying a lot more about, but I don't think that's the center here. So, and I can see on your eyes, Ida, it's about time to move on.
It
So
was perfect. It's short and
thank you,
sweet. Thank you. Thank you for
thank you,
stopping yourself live.
great.
All right. So just to follow up on the quick Acti tour, is that of course we have games that are actually to sort of fix something, help something, improve, learn, and that is of course many things you can cover. But these are the pains that we of course focus especially on. I think this list could probably also be 3 times as long, but these are the main pains that we are working with. And of course, you can never separate many of these pains from each other, because communication will also be your leadership development and crisscross in so many ways. And I'm wondering, actually, do you have a favorite pain? I know it's a weird way to phrase it, but
I have a favorite pain because it's the pain that strikes us in almost any project we're out in, and that is the human nature of being averse to change. Uh, so this is the firm and foremost reason for me leaning into games and simulations and stuff like this. Creating and helping people to go to that psychological safe space where they actually, without risk of invoking too many fear reactions, can try out new stuff, experiment with new ways of looking at things, new methods in doing, and thereby, sort of learning partly how to reflect and how to think, but also more or less, preparing or getting the brain used to doing stuff a bit different tomorrow than what they did yesterday. And then when you come out in the real world, it all of a sudden is not that dangerous and do not, trigger instant scarf reactions. So change and change adoption is my absolute favorite pain. And that covers almost all of the areas you have mentioned here, Ida.
yeah, it's basically all of them. You didn't choose one pain, you chose it all. Wonderful. I think that also perfectly depicts the fact that you cannot really separate these pains from each other, which makes it so complex when you're trying to deal with these issues out in the real world, which you will see in a short while when we start playing a game. Before that, I want to just quickly shed a little bit of light on the game that you will be playing. There's a lot of text once you enter the game, and I really highly urge you to read that information, because it has a lot of value when you then make your choices. But if you're a little bit lazy or not so into reading, or just a little bit too excited to get going, then you can just listen to my explanation of what's about to happen. So basically, you are going to play a manager in a company that is processing organic material for pharmaceutical clients. And basically, you have been given the task that you have to sort of reduce the company's energy use across offices, production, and storage facilities. Super easy, straightforward task, right? To be given like that's yeah, I know what to do. Not so much. But the two things that you need to kind of keep an eye on throughout this game when you're playing it is that you have two goals, and they are, of course, to reduce the energy consumption and to reduce costs. And I don't know what you're thinking when you're hearing that first time, but for me, that's definitely two things that go in each their separate way. So that is basically the challenge that you will be facing in the simulation that we enter in a minute. And a little bit of the background information for this game. I was actually hoping, Leif, you would explain this sustainability model here.
Yeah, actually, I don't. Do we have the other model with us in this game? Do we have the next one?
There's only this one in the corporate energy.
Okay, because actually, me and O, we played around with this game, and we created a game element from in the Game for Green project, where we took a theory that was developed by some researchers from Roskilde University, and we actually added that into the game as part of the game context. And we did a process with book, like a facilitation on the initiative of UO, because it's a project where we are trying to build and use games to save energy or reduce consumptions within society, generally speaking. And there is a lot of research material coming out of that. So what we did is that we took a research paper and created a theory on it and created a game on it. And that game was played at Roskilde University in a facilitated process. But maybe you can just, maybe you would like to share some.
You know, and I don't want to dive into the theories. I think like perhaps we could do that together a bit later. But I would really like to dive into, you know, the reason for having this session with Roskilde and the team in the Game for Green project is, you know, when you first are introduced to creating simulations and doing playful learning in serious games and stuff like this here, like IT, you are always challenged with, I don't quite understand how it works and in what settings it actually performs best. And that was our intent, you know, giving the designers in the project the best possible offset to create, you know, good and engaging games, to release that good energy in that super important agenda they are all addressing in various dimensions and various contexts of getting a societal impact out of changing people's behavior with games.
Mm. And I think that's also, I think that's actually core, and this also builds great up to this very simple model that is also a model that we created, or a theory framework that we added into all of the green games, that actually have been developed over a few years. But the idea is just that when you play the game and you want to look at your options, it's very great that you can benchmark what options did I take, what did others do. And this is like a very simplified version of such an idea, where you have a climate hero, which is like, I make only green choices, which is obvious. We all know that that person or that voice in the organization. And then you have the what we call the average Joe, which is somebody who's capable of balancing between climate hero, and then in the further end you have the polluter, which is the one who doesn't really care about the environmental impact of choices that we make within the organizational life. And in this case, when you're finalizing the game, you will be able to see whether you have taken only climate hero choices or polluter choices, or whether you've been in the average. And for some, it's actually quite difficult to when you're put into a dilemma, to naturally make the choice that you would do when you are arguing, because suddenly you are put in a position where you are the manager for some groups, for some decisions that are to be made within the games, and that challenge your own idea. And that's the whole idea of the game, is actually to drag that back to the behavioral change. So.
And you know, like I think this is one of the aspects where simulations and creations like this actually shine at their brightest. That is where we are trying to facilitate reflective practices about imperfects of reality. You know, it's super easy to create good training where we have a defined right and a defined wrong, but in the gray shades of reality, where nothing is absolutely right or absolutely wrong, or there is a scale in between, and we need to balance those scales, then it is these reflective practices and our chance to rehearse that muscle that is important to change and drive the change.
I totally agree. Yeah, let's. I'm going to. I'm just saying, I'm going to do my best to beat you. Oh.
But life, you know me, I will not let that happen voluntarily. So let's see where we end up.
Okay, already starting. I am liking this. Okay, so what's gonna happen is that the Owen Life, you are allowed to enter the game and play through the first chapter maybe. And while you guys do that, I'm just quickly gonna show our viewers how they get into the platform and how they understand the game board. So the link should be sent in the comments, or it should be just about to be sent. Give it a second. And while you wait for that, I will show you that once you receive the link, you will get a page like this where you can make a guest login. So whatever name you feel like in the moment, you just add it in here. And you choose a position. This can be a relevant layer when you're playing real sessions, but for now it doesn't really matter. So you can be the manager if you want to be the manager. And then you just click join the session. You will arrive at this, the sort of starting page where you, funnily enough, click the play game. And here we arrive to our game board. I'm just going to show you the basics here. So we have this barometer, which is basically showing you where are your stakeholders at this current time. You have three. One of them is representing production. That's Adam. I think that's this guy. Yeah, that's Adam. So he's representing sort of the production team. Then we have Emma, who is sort of representing the office workers. And lastly, we have Kim, who is representing the management team. So you see how they will be positioned here on the barometer, red, yellow, or green, and their positions and moves are of course based on your choices, which will be tracked down here in your reduction of energy consumption and reduction of costs lines. Basically, all you need to know from now on is that you play continue up here to click to get to the question, and then you just make a choice and you're off. So good luck to you guys. I am going to go to the host view so I can keep track of what exactly Leif and O are up to in here. All right. Leif, did you name yourself the boss? Just so I know which one to click.
I did.
Right. Okay, so I have made O, you are blue on my screen, and Leif, you are red up here in the host view.
Well, let's see if life can live up to the title of the boss.
I mean, we can try at least. Okay, so anyway, in the first chapter, you have to make a decision about the initial stages, if I'm not mistaken. Go back here.
Oh, I got so many points. Oh,
that's because you're cheating, life.
All right.
No, we got the same amount of points. You just entered them last, so you get on top. That's a design flaw in Act T, I think.
All right. So the first chapter. What did you choose? I see here the boss. That's you, Leif. You chose a refrigerator and freezer.
yeah.
So the question was sort of like the initial stages. Where can you cut down your energy usage?
Yeah, I was just thinking. So I actually took like a high level approach and thinking, okay, you had freezers, lightning, cool in the winter, and then some other options. I was thinking there is no doubt in my mind that freezers must be the most impactful choice. That was what I was thinking. What about you, O?
Yeah, I think with the storyline here, we have a company heavily leaning into using refrigeration and cold storage, and that must be a cost driver and an energy consumer of quite significant magnitude. So I think the first choice was actually quite easy without being either a polluter or environmentally too extreme. That was just common sense.
Yeah, I thought so too. But I don't actually know what option it was. Does it say in the result text? Can you scroll down a little bit? I can't remember. No, it does not reveal what type of choice, unfortunately. But maybe you can show the profile and we can see what we did. Have you only made one choice, or?
Yeah, I only made one choice.
Yeah, so if you go to profile leader, maybe we can see them, but then O and I can still be seen
There
as.
we go. Oh.
Ooh.
That's not quite right. The boss and
It's still an average choice. All right.
Oh,
O
here we
took
go.
the
No, it's
same.
the other one. It's the other one you need to change. Choose either.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's the wrong one. This
yeah,
one.
it's the bottom
There
one.
we
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, same. You took the same. So it's an average choice. It's not even the climate fighter. Okay, that's interesting. So there must
yeah.
be someone creating more impact.
Let's see what was the choices. I simply can't remember them now.
I can't remember them either, but it could also be, I can't remember the actual game. It could also be that you only have average here and you don't
Yeah.
have a climate fighter. I don't really remember.
It
And you know
could very well be.
that's part of the design in simulations. Like sometimes you don't have the ideal choice. Sometimes you just have choices that that doesn't go to any extremes, but are variations of something average.
Yeah, I totally agree. And maybe it's also important to say that these choices are built on Game for Green choices that are verified by Provise, who's part of that project, who's like making the green calculations. So this is actually building directly on something that we do in the Game for Green, where all choices are verified by some specialists who have that knowledge with them. So I'm quite sure that so being the average, that's also that's for real in this game, which is interesting. Okay. Now I have to move.
Let's move.
I
Chapter
will.
2.
Yeah.
Chapter 2. Let's see what choices we can make here.
Okay. Okay, we want to do them more effectively.
Right, while you are thinking.
Oh, I have no clue. Nice, Ida.
And hopefully you don't ask me now what the scoring like.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop this before we get crazy.
That's
You haven't
nice.
chosen it yet, Clive.
Come on, live.
I made my choice. I made my choice now. I didn't. If you made yours between. Oh no, that was very, very stupid choice. I can see. Oh, you're taking the lead.
Yeah, but like now you're letting me win. I don't like that. Let's have some competition here.
No. Let me give you my rationale. My rationale was actually the same as before. Okay, I think replacing some of the refrigerators must be the best way to go forward, but apparently not.
And I was leaning in. With personal experience, because I actually have an old freezer standing in my garage, and I was measuring how much it actually consumed in electricity, and then we did a full defrost, and it halved the consumption. That was what I made that choice. Now that must be a super easy way without inferring additional cost to make sure that what you have actually run at an optimal level.
So actually, you could actually consider throwing out food that was maybe on the earth or not good in 2 months and save energy by throwing it out. Some kind of idea.
Yeah, or what we did was being a non super energetic organization household, we had 2 freezers, so we just make sure that we had room in the other before we did the complete defrosting. But I was completely amazed about how much we actually saved by doing that. So now it's part of regular rhythm here in our household.
I think that's a great piece of advice, and I think it actually deserves one of these.
Yeah, it does.
Even if you don't play Acti, this is a piece of advice that is relevant to anyone with a freezer.
But that's also one of the things that we actually learned from Game for Green, which I found very interesting. We did 30 interviews, not we, RUC did 30 interviews with somebody at Vejle Kommune some time back, where they played the game. And what happened is that out of the 30, half of them actually responded that they would go home and do something differently. They're doing a research paper on it, and I don't know what their conclusion is in the paper, but just saying that from playing these games from the Game for Green, I also gain a lot of knowledge like now, and those are the things that you can actually use the games for. And I've heard it mostly with these green games because they are kind of in between behavior and actually hard science, because you can actually calculate what's the right decision here. So
And you know, it's always a challenge with those kind of research initiatives, and that's why the collaboration with Roskilde is fantastic, because they do all the hard work in actually creating that proof. Because when you do the after a session spot survey, do you want to change? And then yeah, you have people engaged, you have people energized, so of course they want to do something different. But you know, are they actually doing that? So that qualitative follow-up, is it actually carrying over to be sustainable impact in real life? That's super important.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't know now. The project is only running until 2026, but I think within the same framework, I don't know if it's actually going to provide that type of data. But that's of course the highest level of knowledge we would be able to gain from the project. So let's see. I know we are doing a check on 20 households that are now measuring their consumption of water, and then they are playing a game, and then no, they are measuring their water consumption in a month. They play a game, and then they're measuring their water consumption, and then we see whether it has an impact. But you're so right. Does it also have an impact in a year from now?
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
and I don't think we don't necessarily need to look into a year from now, because if we can make people do something different for 30 days, we know that the majority of it will actually stick in a prolonged period.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You could also argue that even 30 days is a result that values or counts for something, because
Yeah.
you did it. Yeah, so even, and I don't know the stats about staying changes generally speaking, but this, of course, since it is green changes, means a lot. If you can get people to save, it's a good thing.
You know, there are indications in habit building. You know, if you do something consistently for 30 days, you have a quite good chance of that being something that sticks with you.
Yeah, I agree. So this actually was I took a polluter choice. Is that what you're bringing up, Ida?
I am. I'm here to tell you that O is in the lead with all climate fighter choices. And
No,
Live, you have
average.
chosen an
Average.
average and then a polluter. You are the CEO driving our green and sustainable conscious company here at Acti, and you have yet to take a single climate fighter choice.
We need. Okay, I'm going to look for that. That will be my next.
And you know, the average Joe choices, we've just had a book published on, you know, on leverpostej and mediocrity as as a way of sustaining. So I think that's the strategy I will follow.
Damn. Okay, I will look for the greenest choice now. I
Okay.
actually been doing that in the previous 2 chapters, but don't tell anyone.
All right, then you go ahead and make your next choice. Meanwhile, I'm a little bit interested in seeing who else is playing here.
Mhm.
All right. 99.
Wow, we have somebody that's way ahead.
And it's
Yeah,
most of them are way ahead.
absolutely.
It's only a fight. It's a very short game, so it's also a very short interaction here. How to ensure that the companies uses less energy on lightning?
Wow. Okay, it looks like the score to beat is 131. Just putting it out there.
Ooh.
Let's see if we can beat that one.
Let's. All right. So the thing is, you guys just make your choice. The cool thing about the host view here is, as you're seeing on my screen, is that you actually have the complete overview of everybody who's played this session. So not just this game, but someone who's specifically been invited into this session playing this game, making it really, really easy for me to sort of track where are my people at and my participants, how are they doing. You made the choice?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Let's see where that'll bring us.
Let's see where we land. Oh. There we go. Okay.
Ooh.
You are sneaking up live,
I'm
but
sneaking
not
up.
quite there.
Wow, you made a good choice this one.
I did. It was necessary because I was 30 behind, right? So I had
So
to spend
you
some energy on reading it probably.
you changed out the old bulbs with the new ones. Is that
And
the choice?
dimming.
And dimming.
You could also choose to only change the light bulbs. But I was thinking it's probably also good to have the dimming capabilities. But I was also thinking if you had the electricity automatically going on and off, I think it was second choice. Which one did you take? Oh,
Yeah, I took the install the sensors, so you automatically turn lights on and off,
yeah.
primarily on based on cost of implementation, because I would have expected, you know, that the complete switch of all light bulbs would cost significantly more than installing sensors. I was a bit doubtful because some industrial lighting actually don't like to be switched on and off, and they have a high load when they are being turned on again. I was leaning between those two elements, either the LEDs with sensors or with dimmers, or the sensors. But due to investment, I chose the sensors. But that was obviously not the best choice.
Yeah. But I
It
think
might not. Sorry, Leif,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was just thinking maybe there's also about this agenda that actually, since it is influenced with a lot of technology and structural impact due to development within the industry, so it might also be that these informations might be different in 5 years from now because the prices of a dimmer might come down, of sensors might be different. So there is a lot of innovation happening in this space. So it's probably something that you would need to get updated if it have to be accurate for the next 10 years, is my guess.
And as all scenarios, there are a wide range of variations. Are you having, you know, big heavy halogen ceiling lights in industrial capacities, or are you having normally neon pipes, or that's cheap to switch with LEDs? So there's a lot of different dimensions, as always, out there in reality.
Yeah, but I think if you scroll down a little bit,
Want to see that?
I think these two bars, reduce energy consumption and reduce cost, would probably be the only one that will change over time. Like you could argue that you will probably reduce more cost than you reduce energy because prices will come down on some technologies in the future. I'm also thinking in terms of the theory that or the game that we developed for the Game for Green, the Green Pathways games. I'm kind of thinking the theory about whether you took behavioral choices or you took, because we divided the 8 pathways into either they are focusing on behavior or they are focusing on technical and structural choices. That means organizational things or more managerial things or more things that are targeted on people behavior. And I think
But
that's interesting also to that level to add in here.
but all the choices we had here were more technical choices.
Yeah. There was no, were there any behavioral
No, I
choices?
don't think there were any behavioral choices here. It was all something that should be done before something else could happen.
Yeah.
It was not instructing people to turn off the light or whatever. It was installing something to automate that.
Yeah. I think the game that we are referring to is actually added into the session. So if somebody is wanting to have a look at it later, they can go in and play that game. It's added into the session that people have logged into now. This is just a smaller game, which is easier for us to play here within an hour.
And it is super cool with that extra dimension life. So I think definitely people should try it. To have that challenge to the perspectives of what are we leaning towards? Are we leaning towards something we can fix with an investment and technology, or are we leaning into something where we need to change our behavior and our way of approaching the world to influence the outcome?
Yeah. I can't remember. Did we in that game also use the same measurement parameters like reduce pollution and costs, or how did we do it? Like the result bars in the bottom. Do you remember that?
No, I think we just had these two. It's more than 2 weeks ago, so my memory is always.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But the problem, however, we had all the choices marked up with it supporting this or this theory. Is it because it's a technical, or is it a behavioral choice you've made here to get a profile on your preference as an individual? I think that was the way we've handled it in the game actually. But please log in, have a try, all of you listening in, because it's actually a fun experiment to see. Are you more prone to fix stuff, or are you prone to change the way you are addressing and approaching the world?
Yeah, I also
That's
think it,
really cool.
yeah, and it's also, I think it was really cool because it actually builds on the great article from Nina Boy and a lot of her colleagues under the Game Green project, and they created just shortly 8 pathways that we divided into 2 segments. So behavior and structural choices, which worked really well for people. Also, it's an easy way to understand. And you can dig deeper down if you want, because the 8 pathways is also part of it. But you can also just stay on that level.
The pathways are sort of stepping stones to create a good gameplay. Good ways of changing is to divide into those eight different pathways, and thereby get the inspiration of having a good representation of variations from reality.
Yeah, I totally. If people are in the session and want to go, you just have to click on the upper left corner on the Acti logo, and there you can find the other game too. So you can start the other game while I'm trying to beat over here with my last choice.
We need to get this finished because I want to win. No.
Yes, you do. But before you take your last choice, I just have a question I would like to ask you about this one, because you've read the options, but for those of you who haven't, there was actually an option saying that, you know what, we just cancel electricity. Lights are out, we do candles. And I thought that when I was playing this game earlier, of course I chose that, because that is a great choice, right? It made me laugh. Why not choose that? Obviously, you don't need to be an expert to think that that's probably not the choice that you're supposed to be choosing. But I was actually wondering a little bit about why would you incorporate a choice like this? Like, why is this humor, like putting it so much on the edge, a good idea in a game like this? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, it's basically because like O mentioned earlier, we all know compliance games. We all been going through compliance tick things in actives, and we are all getting super annoyed by just ticking the right thing off. It's super boring. It doesn't push us anywhere. But having humor within those type of activities actually it kind of pushes you. And there is this great learning philosopher called Peter Jarvis, who says he calls them disjunctions, and it's like coming in a car towards a disjunction. You hit the disjunction, and you suddenly wake up and you start reading what is in front of you, and that's what you can use humor for, or create a choice which is totally off compared to the others, and suddenly you start reading the other choices also. So it's a gaming way of getting your attention to the matter which is important.
There's also another perspective in this life, and I use that when we create games, even in compliance areas, because even if we have areas where we have defined rights and wrongs, and we have a lot of those areas we need to educate each other in, then you can also lean into those using the humor part as creating that additional learning point. Because if you can create a wrong answer or a almost wrong answer that makes people laugh of the behavior they are actually doing out there in reality when they are messing up, you anchor that extra learning point, having a fun moment, being sort of ridiculed in the safe space of the game of your own behavior. That would anchor the learning of what not to do as well as the what to do. And having fun included in any kind of learning is a fantastic way of ensuring that we have those positive endorphins flowing and create that happy memory of what we are learning about. I normally say, classical compliance training, mandatory e-learning. I yet have to meet that one person who are super energized and passionate when they meet up to do that. And normally people meet up with it. Yeah, I have to do this, so I need to get this done before I can move on to whatever else is on my agenda. And often we see that actually influence or impacts the actual learning of the topic negatively, because you come into the session with a negative disposition on, I don't like this, so I don't like the topic, or so try to always create that positive association with whatever you're doing. That will help any kind of learning, I think.
Thank you so much. That was a great answer. It made sense. I was reading a lot more clearly after I had chosen my candle option because I had to win.
Check.
All right, we only have 13 minutes left of this event. So if you will, gentlemen, please make your last choices.
Now it's a defining moment, life.
It is.
Fine. You are not that far away from each other. You are 5 points away from each other at the moment.
The best possible solution for the future. Oh my God. I'm more like an emotional person. I'm on the behavioral side. Throw some cells on the roof.
Oh, this is a tough one, I think. I'm absolutely not certain that I made the right choice, but let's see where we end up, life.
Yeah,
But a
I'm
choice
making
has
the
been
right.
made.
You're making the right choice.
Oh,
Here
God
we
damn it!
go.
I did not beat you. Damn, what did you
Fantastic.
take?
I like that, life. I will return the favor at some point, I'm sure.
Damn. I took choice number. You invested in heat. I was also like in doubt. Should it be heat pumps or should it be the other one? Then I was thinking,
What did you take, life? Solar
central,
panels or
no, connect
district
to
heating?
this.
Yeah.
Because I actually thought that was the best option, even though I see some implications of it. Damn. But how
There
many
you
points
go.
did we get in the last one? I got 94, and you got how many points there? Oh, we can't see that.
99.
Yeah.
So still only a difference of 5 points.
Damn, but you even if you click me off, I can't remember the people that we have in this game.
Oh, but we are being beat badly by other participants live. So
are we?
Yeah. You guys are not
important.
not the top at all, actually.
No.
Somebody actually knows about what to do that we don't. Oh.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of reality. There are always people out there that know more than yourself. So that's the pleasure of life.
Can we just see what are they saying? I like to hear about the yellow person. Yeah, who's that?
Emma. So Emma is an office worker. She's saying that now it's picking up speed.
Oh, she's been unsatisfied with us because we've been too slow, maybe.
Yeah.
So she's not happy with our average choices. She wants to be more into the green thing. Is that it? Maybe. You can see that if you close this down, we can probably
Oh,
take one step back
yeah.
and see. We probably have to go one step back.
Go back to the game board.
Yeah.
Here.
Then we can see. Still same thing. Okay, she's not been satisfied with us. Like, is that also maybe because she gets a lot of trouble? I didn't read all of the comments as we played, but you could actually read about the comments and see how they're feeling about our initiatives. But I did not do that at all. So.
And neither did I, Life. I was too busy beating you in the game. So
Yeah.
But it's always good for the gameplay and for the facilitation to have that pause of reflection in between chapters where you actually lean in and say, how does this actually impact the stakeholders? How did we drive the progression? How did and why did it actually impact our measures in the way it did? Because this is what it's all about in games like this. It's not the result life being competitive as you and I, but it's the reflections towards the end result. What do you learn about doing that deliberation between different choices?
Yeah,
and that requires the discussion. So leaving room for that when you facilitate sessions is, in our perspective, super critical.
Yeah. I used to compare. I used to compare it because I heard that from an earlier colleague of mine, Mads, Frederiksen, who said actually similar to reading a book. If you read a book and you just read it, like only play the game, you learn this much. But if you discuss it with somebody, you learn this much. And if you have somebody who's actually reflecting with you, you learn a lot more of it. So it's like a natural thing that. And games is the same. If you speak with somebody, you learn more. If you have reflections with somebody, you learn even more. And that's games are no magic powder. It's the same thing.
And this is actually one of the elements I really like with the Acti platform, where you can have social settings even when you are distributed on different locations, because you can have that team, that office where 3 people meet up in different locations and play a game on a team session together, and have those discussions in the room, and then you go back to the game master, to the facilitator, and have those amongst all teams discussion where you can make everybody feel as if they are part of the same social setting, even when we are in different time zones.
Yeah, it is one of the big advantages, and I think that's also the space where it's used the most. So even though, as you could see in this game, it is also being transformed into be a game that you actually can play by yourself. Here we make 5 choices. There's video in the beginning. You could replace a lot of videos in the game. So it is also becoming more and more like an activity prior, and then you meet up with somebody. You do the reflections. You maybe play a different game and so on. So, but it is, of course, we are into learning at Acti, so it's in our mind how we can actually hide that value from the learning. So,
and as all learnings, and all facilitation, we need to look into the before, during, and after. So if we can create something before where people individually prime and prepare to go into the during with a better knowledge, a higher preparation, and then we can leave something in the after to anchor the learnings. We are in a far better place than if we just do one of the elements.
Yeah, totally. I'm a little bit interested in, Ida, before we close in, can we see the profiles?
Yeah, of course you can.
I'm consider myself as a real green person, so I'm a little bit in doubt.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm definitely average Joe.
No, I actually did. Let's see. I also did some polluting choices.
You are average Joe. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
No
and you're
surprise
winning.
there.
And can we see one of the persons who actually did very high score, what they took of all options?
Sure. I know that
We
this
have
one was pretty high. That's exactly the same as yours.
But you must have saved more energy or more.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So here is a real climate fighter.
Yeah. Not sure who Foodie is, but well done out there.
Yeah, well done. Wow.
Like Vieira also did a very nice. Yeah, she also did like you.
Okay.
But why did she get more points than me then?
Yeah, but that can be because they actually saved more money in the lower result bars. But
Yeah, I do.
Ida, can we see over on the secondary filters? Can we try and see
Sure.
everybody who's executives?
Here we go. Executive.
Okay, so here we see the executives on the right side.
This one.
That's actually me, right? That's my profile. Oh,
Yeah, but
Gonna...
I'm just an employee, so
no.
I belong with average Joes.
I want to be in this case. No, it's actually not. I should have taken. If you want to be the executive, I need to take some. What am I missing? More average choices. They're actually more like you. Oh.
Yeah, you only wonder.
Yeah. What about the? Is there? Okay, but that's enough. Great. Nice to see.
I think this is what there is from the data module for now.
Nice.
But definitely good job
Wow.
to Vieira, who is our clear frontier here.
She got all the people with her. That's
she did.
nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, time is actually also really running away with us. So if you have any questions to the game or to Acti or to implement or anything at all regarding this, please just comment in the chat. It will stay open, and we will keep an eye on it and send it to the relevant people if there should be anything we need to get back to you with. And other than that, I think I just would like to say that we are, of course, doing this every week on Tuesdays, and we're really enjoying it. We're feeling like we're getting so close to our partners. So thank you so much, Owe, for joining in today, and
Always
it's
a
been
pleasure.
So next week we have leadership for organizational change, and we have a little bit of different things coming up from week to week. So keep a track on our LinkedIn event page. That's where we will be communicating about it. And yeah, just thank you so much for joining us for yet another Tuesday. And I hope that you guys learned something. I did. And I'm not sure about you two Acti experts, whether you learned something, but at least you were very, very competitive.
I learned for sure that life is polite and allowed me to win.
No, I actually did my best. That's not my concept.
It would sound very unlike life.
I would cheat to win. No, great, but thanks for having that mindset. Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah, great.
As always, enjoyed your company. Have a fantastic afternoon.
Same to you.
You too, and to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining. See you next week, I hope. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.